Welcome back to the How You Slice It podcast. Today we're talking to Matt from MT Pizza King in Detroit. Took over a failing business and turned it all around. He went from conveyor ovens to brick oven. He went from a lot of items to a few items, and he totally changed the decor and style of his business. And he tells us all how he does that, where he got his inspiration from, the pizzerias he visited in New York to test out his recipe, the school he went to learn how to make pizza, and all about his business and how he trains his staff, which is a great episode. I really think you're going to enjoy this one. Tons of great information. A little bit of Snapchat, too. Yeah, you heard that right. Snapchat. So let's get into this episode with Matt from MT Pizza King. Matt, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for hanging with me.
Hey, good seeing you again, Bruce.
I know. Good to see you, too. I just got back from Detroit, and we hung out in your shop, which was a great shop. I had to say, like, you guys have one of the coolest shops that I seen when I was in Detroit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's kind of my fun little inner child running them up.
I know you kind of designed it. So, I mean, maybe we'll be able to, I don't know, we're going to try to put this out quick when we record this, but maybe describe to people and then they can kind of go check it out because we will either share that on Instagram or YouTube, like the inside of your shop. But describe everybody like what you've done with your spot.
So when I got it, I like to tell people that it was like a back pain clinic, urgent care, sort of creepy. There was no vibe, no ambiance. Kind of like a lot of just takeout pizza spots. There's not really a lot of thought as to what's going on in the front of house area. Coming from like a bar background and, with the idea that like fun is the product that we offer, I wanted to give it a nostalgic basement bar feel. A guest came in and described it as Red Foreman's basement. And I was like, dude, that's the vibe right there. Is like that 70s show,
Yeah.
We got the
Yeah.
checkered tile on the floor, the orange Formica countertops, which were hard to find, the cheap wood paneling on the walls that was hard to find. And, basically everything that like our baby boomer parents tried to undo to bring them into the 90s. Like we put that back there. So it's a lot of fun. We've got a Nintendo 64 that you could just sit on this old couch and play for free. We have an old CD jukebox we just installed. That's pretty cool. We put the full bar in there, so it's kind of like a Manhattan, Brooklyn slice joint where you can come in and have a drink while you're waiting for your pizza. And we've got the old VHS combo TVs with the 80s and 90s movies. I mean, everything in there is just supposed to be fun, supposed to take you somewhere. So it's not just coming to pick up a pizza. It's a significant part of like day in the experience.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was kind of like what Scars was like before Scars remodeled.
Yes. Yeah, Scars was awesome. Like, I'm going to miss going down into that little basement with kind of like the dank hip hop music. And I think they had like the Coming to America pictures all over the walls.
Yeah.
Felt like you were transported. I love that.
I haven't been to the new spot there, but I remember that I've been to his old spot, like the original one, a couple times, and it definitely had that old school kind of wood paneling vibe that you have in your spot too.
Yeah. There's a bunch of pictures on my phone, so that was kind of in my mindset even picking out stuff to design it. There's another place in Austin called Favorite Pizza. That's like a New York slice joint in Austin, Texas, and we borrowed some of their kind of design also. So a lot of my travel and research definitely led to it also.
I was just Googling them as you're talking about them. I'll link it up in the description so people can kind of take a look. The important thing about having a pizza shop, especially if you want people to come in, is like to make them feel comfortable. Yours is very comforting and welcoming.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's something that I think that most people trying to start a pizza spot don't think about.
Yeah.
Is it fun when you talk on the phone to the person on the phone? When you walk in the door, how does it feel when you interact with the people that walk in there? And then one step further, does the design of the place engage you to be part of the experience of just the whole product,
Where'd you find all this stuff?
I mean, the wood paneling walls I found at Menards finally after like looking long and far, and I had a guy who does some work for me that was able to locate the countertops. A lot of the like old 80s and 70s beer decorations I got off of eBay, or people will bring me stuff that they see at garage sales. I get all sorts of crazy stuff.
So you're known as the guy that has likes that vintage vibe kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, we put the combo VHS TVs in there. and I put like a Facebook message out asking my friends who's got like old movies, and now we'll have like new guests will come in, and they're like, "Oh, my grandma's got 4 boxes of VHSs," and they just bring them.
That's
We have
great.
like 35 copies of Forrest Gump, and we got to just be like, "Oh, thanks," and kind of throw them away because what are you gonna do with old VHS movies?
Right, right. There's not. I don't even think they make like VHs anymore. I don't even know what they're called anymore. I totally lost the train of thought of like what they're even called.
Yeah, VH. I don't think so either.
Yeah, because I know my daughter has like she loves old. She likes like the little camcorders you used to have before phones were a thing, where you could like walk around your house and take video, like the little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Like the mini DVs. Like she has those because she loves watching home movies of when like our kids were little, and it's even hard to find things to play those.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how many of your listeners have rewind the VHS tape on their checklist for the front of house people.
That's what you have on there.
Yeah, we got to put like rewind it. Don't just pull it out.
I think you know what? Who would have that? Justin from Garlic Breath Pizza, because he has like a VHS recorder too in his shop.
Yeah, then he knows. You don't think about the fact that you got to like rewind the tapes.
Yeah, it's so funny how fast we forget about like that wasn't that long ago that we watched. I had a VCR and we watched cassette tapes.
No, you remember Blockbuster? You'd get the collection fee notices if you don't pay your rewind fees in like a month. They'd send you to like a collection agency.
Going to Blockbuster used to be so fun. It'd be like, all right, it's Friday night, Saturday night. Let's go to Blockbuster, get a couple movies, and watch them.
Yeah, Dad, can I get like a couple of movies and like a video game, and let's get some pizza and bring it home, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you're going for. So like your pizza is the same kind of thing. Like, but you're not just like a pizza spot. Like I think people sometimes they do either one. Like it's a really cool spot and the pizza's not good, or they don't really think about the interior and what it looks like, and the pizza's really good. You know what I mean? Like you kind of mesh the two together.
Well, something that's been important to me as long as I've been in the restaurant business, and I have the sports bar I've had for 15 years, and I have another spot, is we're in the experience business. You want the product that supports that experience to be really, really good, and you want to believe in it because that's definitely one of the motivating factors. But when you provide an overarching experience, then you've elevated something beyond just, oh, I want to get pizza. Then you have value in your product that you can start to put a premium on.
Right. And where did you learn how to make pizza?
So New York, actually. I decided during COVID, I've always wanted to do pizza, and I'd never made a pizza in my entire life except for trying to tool around at home, and I had limited success. So I was fortunate enough to be able to travel quite a bit during COVID, and I just ate a ton of pizza. I probably spent 3 to 4 months cumulatively in New York, eating at like 40 some different pizza places over and over. Been to like Tony Gemiani's spots over in the West Coast and eaten at all the best spots that I could. And then I took a Pizzaiolo certification class with the original Goodfellas in Staten Island.
Okay.
And Andrew and Scott over there, they do an awesome job with that class. If you're like listening and you just want to kind of be introduced to the business aspect of it, along with like learning how to make a product, they do such a good job. So
yeah.
I did a 5-day thing with them. You make the dough. They actually give you their whole playbook. They give you like the recipes and all that. That's what got my wet with it. I have some culinary experience other than that. I've developed menus for a couple other spots, and just spent about a year developing and really trying to immerse myself into what I wanted our product to be. And I mean, you'll know it. I'm sure everyone here has got a pizza spot. Like you make adjustments, and you've always got to be, I think, obsessed with trying to perfect your product and be better. But yeah, really just getting out there and getting my hands dirty.
Did you make these trips to the West Coast and to New York specifically for pizza, or was it like, we'll go to New York and while I'm there, I'm going to go to pizza?
No, they were pizza trips. I gained like 45 pounds over like a year and a
half. That's great. It's not people think like they see us go to do videos, or they see like they hear this podcast with you and you're like, I went to New York City to do a pizza trip. Like, oh, that's so much fun. And like, it is fun, but going to 2 to 5 pizza shops a day is not easy to do. Like when it comes to like eating 2 to 5 pizza shops worth of pizza, it's very, very hard.
Yeah, well, you met our GM at the pizza spot.
What's his name? Give him a shout out.
Mike Hughes.
All right,
doing an awesome job. And he's been with me since the sports bar. He started as a karaoke host. and now he's helping me run the pizza joint. But I took him down to Manhattan, and we hit Long Island, we hit Manhattan, we hit Brooklyn. I think our biggest day we did 9 or 10 pizza spots.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I mean, you're tired.
Yeah.
You're like full and stuffed and ready to sleep by the end of the day.
Yeah, because you have to eat at least one slice at each place. Sometimes each place has multiple different styles of pizza that you want to try.
Well, that's the trick too. You can't get too excited in the first 2 places and eat like 2 or 3 slices because you got to grind it out.
Yeah, that happens to me. Like I'll go do videos, and sometimes I'm only in a city for a week, right? And I got to go to 2 to 3 spots in a day, and I feel horrible. Like I don't want to ever go to somebody and be like, I'm here to do a video with you, but I can't eat your pizza. I'm kind of full. Like, I can't say that. That's rude.
Yeah.
I got to just eat the pizza and put a smile on my face, regardless if I want to or not.
Yeah, it's the grind, right?
But the good thing is, like, I get to choose where I go, which is great because the places that I choose to go, generally I know are, like, good pizzerias that have good quality pizza. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to eating it. Even if I'm full, I'm like, I can still eat this. It's still fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't got to go to, like, Domino's and be like, oh, my God, this is my 5th place. I got to eat this shit pizza now.
I did that, though, in the process. I probably ate all the corporate pizza joints.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Just to say, like, this is not what I want to do?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What was your favorite places? What were your favorite places that you visited? I know you said Tony Gimignani's and...
So my favorite pizza spots, if I were going to take like top 5 in all my travels, I love Luigi's down in Hyde Park in Brooklyn. And he does a lot with Instagram. He's a pretty cool dude. He'll get to talking to you if you see him in there. John's Bleecker is fantastic. It's not just hype. Scars is incredible in New York.
Yeah.
Vito and Nick's in Chicago is one of my favorite pizzas in the entire country. They're
Really?
a thin style, tavern style Chicago pizza. They're a little bit of a drive if you're in the Chicago area. It's about a 45-minute, like, on the outskirts, but totally worth it. The place hasn't been touched since the 70s on the inside, so it's like organically walking into the past. And I do believe they claim to be the originator of Chicago tavern style pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check them out. I'm going back to Chicago, I believe, in the May area, possibly. I'll have to check them out. I know some people messaged that to me last time I should go there, but I just ran out of time.
Yeah, then I would say, I know Detroit style is like the hottest style of pizza in the country right now. Louis in the Detroit area is the best.
But you were saying
That's the
people in
best
Detroit
Detroit
don't.
style.
You were saying people in Detroit don't really know what Detroit style pizza is, do they?
No, you'll see people dropping like Facebook, what's the best Detroit style? And people will say, like Hungry Howie's. Like, we don't know. We grew up and some of us ate Buddies, and it was like, we called it square pizza. We didn't call it Detroit style.
That's very interesting. That it's kind of like the deep dish in Chicago, right? With people who live there.
Kind of like, but I feel like Chicago people have turned against the deep dish, and they're like, oh, that's tourist pizza.
Yeah.
Detroit people, once we get it, we're like, oh, that's our pizza. That's the best.
You embrace it. You just don't call it Detroit pizza.
I think there's some embracing of it.
Yeah.
Detroit's been kind of the armpit of the country and the butt of all the jokes for so long. So anytime we get a win, we're pretty excited about it. One of my friends tells me it's like the most annoying thing in the world to be around a Lions fan now that we're like pretty good. And I get it.
You guys really love your team though, because I've never been to a city where like people embrace the football team as much as you guys embrace the Lions.
Imagine being in love with like a woman your entire life, and all she does is kind of shit on you for like your entire life, and now you're in your 40s, and now everything you've ever wanted is like she's giving you attention, and that's kind of what it's like. We're just so happy to have a team to watch. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you forget who you're talking to. I grew up in Boston. The Patriots were like that my whole life until Tom Brady got here.
Hey, I mean, go blue.
Yeah.
That was my second team as a Detroiter. I was there with you for the glory days.
Yeah, like the 80s and 90s were not a fun time to be a Patriots fan.
No, I forgot that Pete Carroll was the Patriots coach for a while.
Yeah, right before Bill Belichick got there, he was the coach for a couple of years, which wasn't bad. Him and Drew Bledsoe did a couple of good things, so that was fun. But I hear you about that whole city thing, like in there and embracing their football team. The thing is, like, yours went by, like, you guys still haven't got a Super Bowl yet, so it's like you're still kind of waiting for that peak to be like, all right, we made it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm 44. It hasn't happened, so I'm just happy to be in the playoffs and doing
I
that
guess
conversation right now.
that's true. All right, back to pizza. So when you went to New York and you saw these pizza places, what do you think was the thing that stuck out the most about the places that were your favorites? Was it just like the consistency, or what was it?
I would say that all of them seem to have a connectivity with the community. Like they were neighborhood joints that have now blown up beyond that because, I kind of told you I think pizza is pushing barbecue aside. It's like the hot rock star item right now.
Yeah,
But I mean, like you go to Luigi's, and that's a neighborhood that is like that's part of who they are. They've been going. People have been going since they were kids, and their grandkids go there now. And on top of that, just the quality of the pizza and the passion for the product got from the. I mean, it just blows away anything that we have in the Detroit area.
is that what you're trying to do? Like you're trying to like I know you haven't been around really long enough to be like the community spot, but how long do you think that takes to happen? 10, 15 years you have to be around?
Well, so I've had the sports bar for 15 years,
So you've probably seen it there.
and we have like 3 generations of people coming in now. So I think it can happen in about 5. When your kids go from being little kids to start being teenagers, and they've been there the entire time, now you're an important part of their growth and their childhood.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to. And when I see dads that'll bring in their kids, and we've got an original NES that's on one corner of the spot, and they'll play Mario Brothers and they'll play Duck Hunt. And I see the kids get so excited and run right there. Like I know that's what we're doing. We're becoming an important part in the community. We've got people all around in the neighborhoods. They'll walk there in the summer. They'll come there. Like that to me, I know that we're connecting with the people in the neighborhoods and the community.
Duck Hunt. That's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Beagle laughs at you, man.
yeah, you know when I remember. Wait, no, it wasn't Duck Hunt. Back to the Future, the second one when he went to the future, and like
Yeah.
he went into the thing, and there was like that gun game that kind of reminded you of Duck Hunt. I know it wasn't Duck Hunt, but it was
Hogan's
similar.
Alley.
Yeah, and he's like, you got to use your hands. That's a baby's toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I so remind me of that. Like when I see Duck Hunt or Mario Brothers, because like I used to use that when I'm a kid. My kids don't even. They're used to like Mario Kart now.
Mario Kart's great.
Yeah, I
That's
love
what's
it.
on the N64 90% of the time.
Yeah, I love it. This is a fun game. It's just like a fun game to hang and play with people.
Well, that's my favorite. Like at night, we've got the full bar now, and you'll have grown adults sitting on the floor with video game controllers playing Mario Kart, talking shit to each other, eating pizza. It's fucking great.
That's so cool though. Like that's what you want, right? Like that's the kind of atmosphere you want people to be able to go in there and not just get a pizza and leave, but like hang out and look forward to going in. People need something to look forward to in life, and being able to do that and have fun.
Well, something I say at all the spots that is part of just who we are, our identity, is our product is fun. That's it, period. That's the experience that we tell is fun.
And you're doing it, and people will love it.
Yeah.
But the pizza's got to be good too, though, because you can have all the fun you want, but your pizza sucks, so you're gonna be in trouble.
Pizza's got to be good too. My one knock on the Detroit area in general is there's a lack of enthusiasm in the entire restaurant community, quality of ingredients, about process, about consistency, about all that. So I mean, it's really hard to get like your SOFO guy or your US Foods guy to really understand why you need to have this exact cheese every single time. And they'll try to bring something that's 70% as good in and be like, well, it's the same thing. It's not.
Yeah.
You have to be really like dogmatic about the quality of what you're putting on your pizza and what you're putting in the bellies of the people that eat the spot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you that I was talking about or somebody else that said the same exact thing. It was like the food reps sometimes think we're being a dick, right? But we're not being a dick. We just want the same product every time, and like it's not like you're replacing a hubcap, right? And you're like, all right, that hubcap is off. Like, let's just put this one on. It's fine. Like you're eating it. It's going into your body. You want to make sure it's the same exact thing every single time.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you shouldn't feel like shit after you eat pizza.
Yeah.
You should eat a few slices and feel fine, feel good, like energized. I mean, you think about Italian cuisine, really the digestive experience is so central to what Italian cuisine is supposed to be about. So we forget that sometimes.
And you do that, and you're like, you guys use high quality ingredients. I mean, I don't know everybody says that, but you do though.
Yeah, and we do a 72-hour ferment process in our dough. So I mean, it's really digestible. It's good. We use good flour. We use good cheese. We use really good tomatoes.
And you can easily source that where you are?
Now we can.
Was that a fight?
Yeah, it was a fight, and it probably would have been more of a fight if I didn't have two other restaurants to back some brand strength against. But now they regularly carry our stuff, and we've even got like a secondary vendor that regularly carries our stuff. So we have redundancy there, which is important.
Yeah, that's cool. I think Instagram and like the internet helps too because a lot more people are aware of like what good pizza is.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is helpful. As much as Instagram and the internet can be annoying sometimes, there are good things about it.
Yeah, I always love those memes and stuff where it's like you buy a restaurant, you don't realize you have to be a content creator. But I mean, yeah, it's a reality of our business now. You've got to put out unique, interesting stuff and tell people what you got.
Yeah, for sure. You would tell me you use Snapchat a lot.
Yeah, dude, my personal Snapchat drives money, man.
I know. I was amazed by
No
that.
matter where I'm at, like I'll just take a picture of my food and put on my Snap story like lunch with the location, and it always yields sales.
That's crazy. I left your spot and I downloaded Snapchat. And I told my wife, I'm like, I got to download Snapchat now because if it's working, I got to figure it out, like how to work it. Like I used Snapchat way back in the day when it first came out. And, you know, I was using it and trying to figure out how pizzerias could use it. But then like Instagram came out with stories and TikTok came out. And there were so many other things that people gravitated to. I kind of forgot about Snapchat.
Well, I think that it's easy as you get older to shit on Gen Z for all their differences. But like it or not, they're who are coming up.
Yeah.
They were infants when Facebook was, let out. And now they look at Facebook as where like old people and racists go to argue pretty much. So we got to be where is next,
yeah.
right? And like my teenagers don't use iMessage. They don't use like other tech platforms. They text and get their media on Snapchat and stuff like that more. So to me, that's kind of trying to skate to where the puck is going, not where it's at.
Yeah, they don't use like you believe it or not, the younger generation, like I don't know how old your kids are, but mine are 22, 21, and 17. And none of them really use Instagram or Facebook. It's all Snapchat and TikTok. That's it.
Yeah, Snapchat, TikTok, and like Discord, which I don't know anything about that. But
same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like TikTok, they look there, they just like use it as almost like TikTok today for them is like what YouTube is for us. Like they go there and watch stuff for entertainment, right? Like I go to YouTube and watch. I don't have cable. I go to YouTube. They go to TikTok. Same. And then like what text messaging is in, iMessage or Facebook message for us is that's what they use Snapchat for.
Yeah.
And I still can't figure it out. Absolutely. You got to teach me. You got to come on, like, do a tutorial about how we can use Snapchat for business. I went on there the other day. I don't know. It changed so much. I have no idea what I'm doing now.
Are you saying I got to get out to Boston? That sounds like a great reason.
Yeah, come out to Boston. We'll do some pizza tours. We'll go to Regina's. We'll go to Santarpio's. You can see if any of those live up to the hype.
You had me a pizza, man. I'm down.
There are great pizza spots here now. I feel like Boston never had a great reputation for being a pizza city, but there are some good pizzerias opening now or getting exposure where people can find them, and they're doing some cool stuff, which is I'm happy to see.
That's kind of the irony about Detroit. All of the big box places that are on top of the world started in Detroit pretty much. Domino's, Jets, Hungry Howie's, Little Caesars. Jets is pretty good. Jets is like a guilty pleasure. It's pretty good. But like just fucking cheap, like get some birthday party pizza from all the other places, and now we've got the Detroit pizza movement that's taken the whole world over.
I know it's interesting to see. I was gonna stop at Jets because I've never been to one, and there is one near me. But like, I feel like if I'm gonna try Jets at the first time and I'm in Detroit, I might as well go there. But I just didn't have time to go there.
It's probably the same wherever you go.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
That's solid. It's a little pricey compared to the other like big box spots, but there's nothing wrong with Jets. Jets is good.
Yeah, Bruno from Pizza Bruno in Orlando. I've been to his spot a couple times. He lives, but he's like, I love Jets. Jets. Detroit style pizza is the bomb, he says.
Yeah, I told you the guys from Via 313, the Hunt brothers. Brandon's a good friend of mine. We went to high school together. They're from Detroit.
Yeah.
And they're doing Detroit style big time, like west of the Mississippi. He swears by Jets. Jets is like same thing. That's his favorite corporate spot.
I wonder if he's trying to that's probably where he got the inspiration to do his like unique thing with Detroit style pizza down in Austin.
I think more so his brother moved to Austin and they were like, there's shit pizza here. and they knew about Sean Rendazzo and Detroit Style Pizza Co. And I think they went through his whole like training class. And
Oh,
let's
okay.
bring something different.
Oh, so their pizza. So there's a place near me. It's called Volo Pizza. It's in Swampscott, Massachusetts, and I'm pretty sure that he went through Sean's class too before
Yeah, I
Sean
tried to
passed
go,
away.
but they had shut down the school by the time I wanted to get
Yeah,
into that.
Sean was on the.
I
I've
think
had Sean on the podcast a couple times. He was a good friend of mine since I started the podcast. Like I've known him since I started, probably 2015, 2016.
Yeah, I never got a chance to meet.
Super nice guy, super helpful, super nice. Anytime, like I had him on the podcast a couple times, and anytime, usually when I do a podcast, someone will reach out to me and be like, "Hey, you had this guy on the podcast. I have this question," and I sent him a few emails from people, and like he was so nice and helpful, and like just answered anybody's questions, regardless of like how much time it took him, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Cool. So what? Let me ask you some like logistic questions now. So people are probably asking, like, you have 72-hour ferment. Like, what kind of oven do you have?
So we use why am I having a brain fart on the brand?
I know you were before. I'll stall you. I'll stall for you while you're thinking.
We'll just say electric deck oven.
Yeah,
It's,
deck oven. You used to have a conveyor though, right?
Yeah, we got the conveyor out of there.
Did you ever cook on the conveyor?
Yeah.
Like when you first opened your pizza shop, like when you first were selling pizza, you cooked on the conveyor?
So you just posted something a couple days ago. Basically, don't be afraid to start from scratch. Don't be afraid to like start over.
Yeah.
When I bought the pizza place, it was like a legacy spot that had been around since the 70s that had gone through a couple other owners. So there was a small constituents in the neighborhood people that were really loyal to that. So I was afraid to completely rip the Band-Aid off and change it right away. We did my pizza in the conveyor for about a month and a half. And I was like, man, I didn't do all this training. I didn't do all this research. I didn't like fall in love with this brand of pizza to have screen prints on the bottom and then not put out the pizza I want.
Yeah.
So we went and we bought this Moretti Forni electric deck oven. It's like a triple deck. And we ripped the conveyor out and had to teach these people like who were using a dough sheeter, who were, putting them on the screens to like start launching them from the peel like live while the train was running. We were putting the tracks down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our reviews from around that time, we definitely went through some growth pains.
Is it worth it though if after it's all said and done?
Oh yeah, man. I personally think that we're in the conversation of the best pizza in the Detroit area.
Yeah, yours was good. I've had it.
Thank you.
So yeah, yours was good. I could definitely tell that you take care of the products that you do, and like it's important to you to put out a good pizza. And then, listen, that's a tough transition too, to go from conveyor, chain link conveyor, not like the new ones that they have, but like chain link conveyor with a screen. Because somebody can easily do that. Like you're half a pizza maker if you're using a chain link in a screen, because you're like half the process is sliding it off the peel into the oven and then watching it, spinning it, making sure it doesn't burn. It's like it's not like you put it in, it comes out the other side done. They have those, but that's not what you're using. So it's like a little bit more of a skill that you got to teach somebody that they weren't ready for when they first joined, I'm sure.
Well, I went down for a couple of weeks right in the beginning because it was something I'd had scheduled with my son who just graduated for like 5 years. I promised him I'd take him on this trip after he graduated. So we got the deck ovens in, and my GM, who didn't come from a background, he like worked at Marco's for like 7-8 years. Didn't come from a deck oven background, launching peel off the peel. I was like, hey man, like by the time I get back, screen should be gone. Like we're launching everything. I get back and there's been like zero progress. So I just had to be like, listen, guys, it's 100% a mental block that's keeping you from doing this. I've been to pizza places where 14-year-olds launch pizzas all day long. So I took all of the screens out of the building and we launched a lot of footballs for the first, probably month. And it was ugly and we comped a lot of stuff to make things right. And we were really trying to be proactive. We branded like the imperfect looking pizzas hand tossed,
Yeah.
and tried to make it fun. But the end of the day, it's so important to challenge yourself. And I don't think you can ever be satisfied that you've got it all right. You have to always, at the end of the day, be like, how can we move another couple feet up the field like tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
like how can we do just a little bit better? Like every single day you have to have that mentality.
Well, would you do anything differently? Like, would you just have started that process right from the beginning? Be like, listen, day one, gone.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I would have probably closed for a month or two. I probably would have taken some time to really interview some people to come in to make sure that they were at least in theory matches with the culture we wanted to put forth. And yeah, we would have just started with the product we wanted to do day one.
When you bought the business, it was operating and open? So like, did you pay for like the amount of sales they had, or were you just paying for like the customer base and the equipment and stuff?
I got a really good deal, so I paid for the amount of sales they didn't have.
Got it. So it was like struggling.
Yeah, I was looking for a place for a minute. We were gonna do a bigger location. The cost was a little bit dicey for me, and then it kind of fell in my lap. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So I mean, literally, they were open Sunday. We took over Monday, and I'm signing paperwork with like the lease and stuff.
That was that quick?
And he's like, yeah, like here's the laminated piece of paper from 1978 with the dough recipe on it. Good luck.
Oh my God. Wow. So I mean, your spot's pretty big. Like it's a good, it's not big, but it's not small. What is it? Like 1,500 square feet?
I think it's 1,700 square.
Yeah. So it's like, you got a big kitchen in there. You have a lot of space to do things.
Yeah, I showed you. I told you could play like roller hockey in that kitchen. I wish I had half the kitchen and twice the dining room that I have, but it is what it is.
Can you move that wall back, or is that like not possible?
I don't know if it would be worth the squeeze, you know?
Yeah.
We could probably.
But even if you did that, move it back, what, 20 feet, you probably only get, what, maybe five booths in there. And it's like, is that worth it?
That's
Like,
the thing. I think we're more focused on trying to now take what we're doing there and open a second location. That one will probably have a little bit bigger of a dining room and have it more of a pizzeria feel.
yeah. So the second location, like this place, the reason it's MT Pizza King is Pizza King was the previous place, right?
Yes.
And MT is your
And
initials.
there's another Pizza King about 20 minutes north of us, and it's the last of like what was once 5 Pizza King. And we just needed to differentiate somehow, so I put my initials in front of it.
So the next one, if you open a second location, is it going to be the same name?
It's going to be called Good Neighbor.
Okay.
It'll be the same pizza, the same vibe. The idea is we're trying to develop this to scale.
Yeah.
So MT's Pizza King will always just be like the flagship #1 location, and that's like really looking up like 10 years up the road, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you have a pretty scalable model because like it's like your decor, which is replicatable, and then you have a simple menu, so you don't have like a ton of stuff on your menu that you need to like move a whole bunch of stuff or get a whole bunch of people in there to train.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, that's something we did too, is we cut a lot of stuff off the menu. They had like a Nashville chicken ghost kitchen they were doing out of there, so we pretty much cut all that out. And the food was really good, but it just didn't really make sense in the location the way it was.
Right.
And then, I mean, we took like mac and cheese off the menu. Like, I don't want to be great at mac and cheese. I want to be really awesome at pizza. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we have a grill, so we make really, really good burgers, which is kind of cool because, you know, we have the bar. So it's kind of like, I've had the pizza, let's have a burger today. We have really good subs. We make our own bread. Like, that's about it. I don't want to specialize in anything else.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that. That's a good philosophy to have because then worst case scenario, if you got to go in and work, you're like, I like doing this.
Yep.
You know, I always tell people like, I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day that's thinking about opening a pizza shop, and he was talking to me about his ideal pizza shop, and I'm like, he's like, I don't know if I should do it or not. I'm like, worst case scenario, what's worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is nobody shows up, you're in there, open to close every day, making everything that comes in. Like, are you happy doing that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, then you should fucking do it.
You should fucking do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If like the answer was no, I don't want to do that, then you shouldn't do it because that could happen.
Something I do kind of regularly is if I've like noticed I've not ordered some certain things off the menu for a little bit, I'll just be like, all right, I'm going to eat like sandwich side this week. And if I eat something and I'm not really blown away about it, I'll kind of ask around, like, is this even that good?
Yeah.
And, you know, like if I look at the sales and it's not really like a top 20, I'll just kill it.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just kill it. And I sometimes try to replace it with something else, but I figure like if we're devoting time and training and maybe even a spot for an item on the prep line to the make line to an item that I don't feels like definitively like the best of what it's supposed to be for what we're putting out, I'll just kill it.
Yeah, I love that. So I always make fun of the tuna fish sub on this podcast. I don't know why I make fun of the tuna fish sub, but it's just because it goes back to my days of operating the pizza shop. And my partner, we fought about this all the time. I would look at the sales and we'd be like, tuna fish sub. Out of so let's say we sold 100 subs, 4 or 5 would be tuna fish. And I'm like, why the fuck are we making tuna fish? Like, it doesn't sell at all. And like, it's a pain in the ass to make. It smells horrible. Like, why are we doing this? And he was like, well, what about those 5 people that want to come in here for that tuna fish sub that come in every day? I'm like, let them go somewhere else. And he just wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. He would not. We butted heads on this one thing all the time.
Yeah, for us, it was the ham and cheese sub.
Yeah, same thing.
So we inherit this ham and cheese sub, and it's cold cuts and American cheese, and that's it. And it's melted on bread, and it wasn't the same apparently as it was in 1987. So we'd get a week full of like 5-star reviews, and then we'd get 1 1-star. People just shitting on his ham and cheese sub, and I'm like, I'm done with it. Like,
yeah, then you just gotta be.
Go make a ham and cheese at home, man. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to do that. And just like, you're gonna get people who be like, oh, you don't have the ham and cheese sub, I'm not ordering anymore. And you kind of feel bad about that because they just hang up and they don't order anything. But it's going to happen. You're better off getting rid of it now and being like, all right, move on.
Well, that's the thing too. You buy a restaurant because presumably you really like the food that you're making.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Like, terrible retirement plan. Don't buy a restaurant just because you think it'll be fun to do when you're retiring. Because you're not going to be retired. That's going to be your life.
Yeah.
But, like, you can do the stuff you really love and the stuff that you really like. And if you don't really love it and really like it, then I feel like it's going to show in the product when you put it out in front of people. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
You can do that. As long as you're really good at some stuff, you can pack your place out with people at the stuff you're really good at.
Yeah. You can make a business, like a profitable business, out of a small amount of items.
I always think about this place in San Antonio I went to. They had just won, I think, Vanity Fair, Best New Restaurant in the Country, and it was called Carnitas. And that's it. That's all they had in the menu. Just pork and tortillas. That's it. One item menu.
Wow.
And I had gone like a year after they won the award, and I waited in a line for an hour and a half to get my half a pound of carnitas and these tortillas, and it was worth every second.
So if they
I always go back to that, like, they just specialized and perfected one thing that people can't wait to wait in line.
Yeah, but they were probably the best ones you've ever had, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the caveat. You gotta be like, you can't be like, oh, I'm just gonna serve pizza, but it's mediocre. It's gotta be really good.
Yeah, do less better.
Yeah. I love that. Matt, where can people go follow you on social media or say hello to you if they're in your area? Where should they go?
So Instagram, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have a TikTok, MT's Pizza King. We're the only one. So if you type that in, you'll find us pretty quick. We're in Wyandotte, which is about 15 minutes south of Detroit. If you're getting off of the airplane and you're driving into Detroit, it's just like a 5-minute detour to come visit us in Wyandotte. Pretty cool community. It's an old Polish community right by the Detroit River.
Yeah, stop by. It's super easy to get around Detroit, by the way. No traffic either, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, unless it's like a Red Wings game or like a Tigers game or like a sporting game. I don't think there was a lot going on when you were here.
Yeah, no, when I was there, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is like a nice city and there's no traffic. This is great.
Yeah, sometimes we'll have like 3 home games happening at the same time, and there'll be like 2 big concerts, and then good luck. But most days it's super easy to get around.
Oh my God, that's awesome. We'll link up everything, your address, the social media too, in the show notes in the description for this video. Matt, don't hang up yet, but thank you so much for hanging out with me on the podcast. It was great talking to you.
Thanks, Bruce. You too, man.
Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Matt, for joining me on the show. Everything that we talked about, we will link up in the description for this episode. Whether you're listening to the audio version on Spotify and iTunes or watching the video on YouTube, I very much appreciate that. Be sure to check out our Pizza Insider videos as well. We go into these pizza shops and we show you around how they're operating their businesses. We go to different cities. We call it city smashing. Just went to Detroit. We've been to San Diego. All of those videos are on our YouTube channel. Go check that out. If you are listening to the podcast on iTunes, leave a review. 5 stars, please. And thank you so much for tuning in. Very much appreciated. We'll see you right back here next week, everybody.